So let's look at the two-way ANOVA, where we have the effectiveness of music to the two stages of Alzheimer. And in this case, we have two groups of the Alzheimer's. We have the early stage and also we have the middle stage. And these groups are introduced to the music. And we have reggae, blues, and R&B. And so we would like to see how each group reacts to a particular music. And when you put all of them together, how do they react to the music? Do they react differently? So in this case, we can use the two-way ANOVA. And uh, let me just work here. Now you can go to the data analysis, and instead of selecting the single ANOVA, we're going to select the two-factor with replication, not without replication. So I will click OK. And let me remove this. So in this case, we need to have our input range, and the input range will be, just select all these values, and we need to select the rows per sample. So for the early stage, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are the 5 rows. And for the second one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we have same rows, and in this case, for each sample, we have 5 rows. We are going to consider alpha, which is 0.05, or the 5% significance level. And our output range, I should click here and select wherever I want my output to be. So I want my output to be there. You can select the new worksheet or the new workbook, but I prefer to have my outcome close to the data. And in this case, I'm all set, so I'll click OK. And you can see that we have results. Now, the results are, here we have sample and columns and interaction. So, in other words, we have the first, which is we're looking for the groups of Alzheimer towards the music, and also we are looking at how music affects them and the interaction between the two. However, we need to create hypotheses, and in the notes we have for two-way ANOVA, we have 3 types of hypotheses. The first one is for the main effect of factor A, and also we have the main effect of factor B, and we have interactive effect. And you can see that here we're using alpha and also we're using beta. And then we put all of them together. That's for the interactive. And we can say that at least one is different. And this is actually the same as in one-way ANOVA, only that we're using alpha and beta. But it is all the same. So all we're trying to do here is to use the 95% for the null hypothesis, and we need the probability value, which should be less or equal to 0.05 alpha, or significance level. And also the same for main effect B. We have the null hypothesis has 95% confidence level, and alternative hypothesis will be proven by the probability value, which should be less or equal to 5% alpha. And same with interactive effect. The null hypothesis, the probability of the null hypothesis is 95% confidence level, and the probability for alternative hypothesis is the p-value that should be less or equal to 0.05 alpha. So for all these 3, if we have the p-value which is less or equal to 5% alpha, then we will reject the null hypothesis, and then we can say the main effect A will be is significant. And so the same with the second and the third. But if we happen to have one that has the p-value which is greater or equal to 5% alpha, then we will fail to reject the null hypothesis, and all we can say is the reaction to the music by the group of Alzheimer is the same across all uh, the music. Or so first we are trying to find out is do the groups of Alzheimer react differently to the music, and also uh, when that's the main effect A, and main effect B is we look at those different music to see if they have effect on any of the groups, and when we put all of them together we try to find if uh, when you have all of them together, do they react to the music differently or in the same way? So the alternative hypothesis actually shows that they don't react the same way. They react differently. But the null hypothesis shows that there is no any differences. Now let's go back to Excel. In Excel, you can see that here we have results for the sample, which is our groups, and columns, which are our music. And also we have interaction, and we have the within within the groups. So here we have the p-values. The first p-value is less than 0.05, and therefore the alternative we can reject the null hypothesis for the first one, and so we can say that at least one group react differently to the music. So let's look at the other. The other one gives us this 2.04908 exponential of 0.7, meaning that we have 7 zeros to 0.49. So that means it's very close to 0. So we have really good probability here, and that means in this case the main effect of factor B, the alternative hypothesis is actually proved, and therefore we can reject the null hypothesis. And for the third one, we can also see that we have 0.504929, and it is also a very good probability value. And in this case, for the interactive effect, we will reject the null hypothesis. So that's all with the two-factor analysis.